let me just say that Big Pharma spends billions of dollars, billions to keep these $3 foods a secret. Yeah, because they actually unclog your arteries. I'm talking about statins, surgeries. What if I told you the real artery scrubbers are hiding in the discount aisle that you never even paid attention to?
Oh, they hate this, right?
Yeah.
Ready to see the $3 grocery list that could save your heart? Stay with us.
Today we are discussing the $3 grocery list that unclogs arteries, which Big Pharma actually hates, right?
So 3 grocery items under $3 that cardiologists secretly eat for clear arteries.
A cardiologist may be eating this and he didn't know, but today we're going to show you those, right? And Big Pharma's dirty secret is that they don't want anybody to know any of these things, because if they do, then of course you are going to not depend on the medications that they provide, right? So why these foods are never advertised, that is the reason, because they don't want anybody not taking their medications, which makes them the dollars, right?
Then we will talk about a bonus point that we will dwell on healthy foods that actually clog arteries. So it has the connotation that it's healthy, but it's not healthy for your arteries. So we are going to throw that one in, which 90% of people do eat daily, and they think that they are eating healthy, but overall, just it's rather hurting them and it's clogging their arteries.
Let's begin with the 3 grocery items or foods under $3 that actually unclogs your arteries and keeps them clean from cholesterol plaques and stuff like that. Note that these results may differ for every individual, and we don't want you to stop your medications, until you have talked to your doctor. Don't watch and think that you're going to just stop your statins right up because we showed you those foods. No, we want you to start eating them first, and then at some point discuss your case with your doctor.
Yeah, and also it takes time and consistency to actually achieve clinically significant results. At least 8 weeks for most studies.
All right.
So though you will start doing it, you just have to give yourself time before you see any real change.
All right. So then let's hit the first one. Come on, are you ready with me? TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, are you there? Now let's begin. So what are the 3 foods under $3? I'm not talking about junk food. We're talking about healthy food that are going to unclog your arteries, right? The first of them is one that you should probably hint me if you have been watching us for a long time. Canned sardines. Come on, man. Canned sardines. Canned sardines. And the reason is that they are packed with omega-3s. As a matter of fact, they have a bunch of EPAs and DHAs, and they reduce arterial inflammation and plaque buildup. So in your arteries, the process of atherosclerosis, or the first steps in which your arteries become plugged with cholesterol plaques is inflammation. And if you are eating these canned sardines, which come under $3, as a matter of fact, I think we even had an average price for it. I think $1.50.
Yeah, less than $2.
Less than $2 a can. You can get about 4 pieces or 3 at least. Those are going to help you reduce the inflammation in your arteries, which are known to cause the plaque formation to begin. So that's something that we can show you right off the bat, that eat sardines.
So Journal of American College of Cardiology found 2 servings per week actually lowers your heart attack risk by 34%. So there has been a study that suggests that if you eat at least 2 servings per week.
Per week, not even daily.
Not daily.
So you eat $3 of canned sardines. It doesn't have to be canned, but as long as you get some sardines.
Yeah, so you reduce your chance of heart attack by 34%.
That is huge. Come on,
That's
man.
huge.
34%. That's a lot of change just by eating canned sardines. All right, go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so how do you eat it? You can mash on whole grain toast with lemon, or you can toss into salads. You know, just add it to, instead of going for the margarine and going for, you know, the butter and the unhealthy stuff. You can use sardine instead, add a little lemon to it, mash it, and put it on your whole grain bread, you know, and you do that at least twice a week, your chance of getting a heart attack is reduced by 34%.
Come on, man. It's going to be reduced by 34%. No medication. No medication involved. Just eating sardines, you know, frequently enough, you are going to reduce your chance of getting all those bad stuff, right? So you can beat it.
You can beat it.
You know, and if you are not a fan of sardines, some people are like, I'm not a fan of, you know, that kind of fish. You can replace sardines with any other oily fish or fatty fish, right? And you're going to get the same results. But we're using those because they are the cheapest one that nobody can make an excuse for. Under $1, under $3, you get pieces of sardines that you can use all the time, and you can beat it. But of course, you can replace it with any other oily or fatty fish.
And if you're making your salad, you know, instead of using the bacons, you know, the unhealthy foods, you can add sardines to your salads.
Definitely.
You know, you cut your greens, a little things of everything, then you just include sardines in there, and it tastes really good.
It does.
If you try it. So it's something that you can think about instead of reaching out for the unhealthy stuff. Add sardines instead in your salad.
Definitely. Now we got another watching from Nairobi. Somebody on YouTube. Come on, man, watching from Nairobi. We see your comment right there. Those on YouTube, you can see it. That is far away, but thanks for joining us. Hopefully you will stay put and subscribe for more videos in the future. All right, let's move on. So we're going to talk about the second food, right?
Yeah, so the second food that can unclog your arteries is frozen berries. Frozen berries. If you have access to even the real berries, that's even better. But we are trying to get the price to a point that you don't need a lot of money to buy frozen berries. You go to the grocery stores, you can find the frozen berries almost everywhere. And it's as cheap as $2.50 a bag, you know, that you can grab, and that can really help clean your arteries and make your arteries more healthy. Definitely. So why are we saying that, right? We're saying that because berries contain antioxidants. Antioxidants that give them the color, you know.
The anthocyanins in them, right?
Anthocyanins in them give them their color. So the berries come in different colors. We have the blackberries, we have the blueberries, we have the raspberries, you know, all the different colors. So these berries scrub arteries wall and boost the nitric oxide, which also improve blood flow. Definitely. So you're getting the antioxidants, right? And this is going to scrub the artery walls, you know, and then
it's basically like as a broom, right?
Yeah,
it's the broom.
Open up your arteries so that the blood will flow easily. So definitely berries is something you want to look
and we're talking about $2.50 per frozen pack.
A bag, a whole berries,
bag. Right? I mean, some people may find it cheaper fresh, depending on where you are. Some people even go for strawberry picking and berry picking, and they get it for free.
Yes.
But I'm talking about those of us in the US buying it for $2.50. I'm pretty sure it's going to be more expensive in our brother's place in Kenya. But at least if you have access to these berries, you can't go wrong with them. As cheap as they come, and you can basically scrub your artery walls, your blood vessels, the walls, with every plaque that tries to build up because of the high content of what? Antioxidants. And the funny thing is they are two-packed, you know, apart from the antioxidants, they are also helping you, you know, with blood flow. The nitric oxide content in them makes you dilate your blood vessels, and your blood pressure becomes on point. Blood flow is easier, and heart attack is reduced. And so you can beat it. And again, this is food that costs less than $3. $3. All right. So you can't go wrong with that. So that's the second food under $3. that Big Pharma doesn't want you to know. Because if you know, you may not be taking your cholesterol medications, your atorvastatins, your simvastatins, and the rest, right? But we want to show you even another one. But before we go there, I also want to tell you that these berries we're talking about, we didn't just pick them up for picking sake. Studies support it. As a matter of fact, studies link berries to a 20% lower arterial stiffness or your blood vessels stiffness. 20% lower stiffness when you include berries in your diet for 8 weeks. This is basically 2 months. If you start including and eating berries, whether it's blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, or whatever berries, if you consistently eat them daily for 8 weeks, you probably don't even have to do them daily, but at least if you're doing a couple of times or maybe 3 times a week, continuously for 8 weeks, you have a lower chance of artery or blood vessel stiffness. You're going to dilate your vessels more, and you are going to have an easier way with your blood moving around. And so you reduce your risk of heart attacks. Whether you are diabetic or you are not, this is going to be something that you want to definitely include in your diet for something under $2, or I mean under $3 to be precise. I know prices are going up in some places, but if you really want it, especially that's why we are pointing you to the frozen ones, because those are cheaper. You know, if you can't get your hands on the fresh ones, the frozen ones still work. So this proves our point on improving blood flow and circulation, as we began earlier.
Yeah, so like you're preventing the stiffness, right? And if your arteries are not stiff, it's likely that the blood flow is continuous, right?
Continuous, no
It's
inhibition.
easy flow.
Easier blood pressure goes down and
Yep.
everything. And all you got to eat
It's
is berries and continue for 8 weeks and begin to see a 20% decrease in your stiffness.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. You can beat that. You cannot beat that. You cannot beat that.
So how do you eat it? You know, like you were saying, you can blend it into smoothies. You know, so if you make smoothies in the morning, you can throw in berries. If you love the strawberries, go for it. The raspberries, the blackberries, add it to it. And if you have your oatmeal, like last time we suggested, right? Instead of going for the sugar and the honey and all that, you just throw in your berries. You let the frozen ones sit for some time. Even my daughter will just put it in the microwave, You put it in the microwave, it becomes soft. You put it in, mix it with your oatmeal, and that will be a healthy breakfast for you.
Come on, man. That will be a healthy breakfast. And we will tell you more about how to make it even better as we go through the presentation. So make sure you stay put. But that's an easy fix for arterial stiffness or blood vessel stiffness, right? Just including berries in your diet, at least for 8 weeks. That's what the studies say, at least, right? All right. So the third artery scrubbing food under $3 is, drum roll, please. Come on, man. Oh, man, I'm having fun. I mean, if you can get healthy food for cheap, why wouldn't you? People make excuses about, it's too expensive. And we have done the research for you. Go for the frozen ones, and if you're really serious about it, they are cheaper in some extent. Sometimes we think they are more expensive, but they actually are cheaper if you think about it. It's just that we don't look. We are used to what we want, and we just go on the shelf and we grab them. But if you're looking for cheaper alternatives that are healthier, then you can find them. So berries, frozen ones, are ones you can count on for a good price and for good health, right?
And if you don't finish eating everything, it's frozen. You just put it back in the fridge.
In the fridge.
So the fresh one may go bad, but the frozen one will stay fresh, and it contains its nutrients as long as you keep it frozen.
Definitely.
So you don't have to throw the excess away.
Definitely. All right, with the drum roll out of the way, the third artery scrubbing food under $3 is dry lentils. And it comes, on average, $1.75 per cup. Lentils, dry lentils, $1.75 per cup, right? And if you're not a fan of lentils, hey, it belongs to a family of food groups we call legumes, right? So you could replace your lentils with chickpeas. If you're not a fan of chickpeas, you can do black beans. If you're not a fan of black beans, you can do kidney beans. You got to be a fan of one of those. You cannot say that I don't like any legume. You got to like legume. But at least we give you the price of lentils, dried lentils, cup being $1.75. You see, and they are nutritional powerhouses that are packed with plant-based protein. A lot of protein in them. We talk about protein all the time. Go for those. And then they're also fiber rich. They contain both soluble and insoluble fiber. They also have potassium. They got magnesium. You cannot beat them. And the fiber in them help manage your cholesterol levels, and then also even your blood sugar. Those who are blood sugar conscious, or you're diabetic, these are going to help you manage your blood sugar levels because of the rich amounts of fiber in them. And then also the potassium will obviously help you regulate your blood pressure. So you can go wrong with cheap but healthy lentils, or the sisters of lentils. Man, I like that. The sisters of lentils. Yeah. Chickpeas, black beans, kidney beans, or whatever beans that you like, if you don't like the lentils.
Yeah, so we have about 15 grams of fiber per cup.
Wow.
In the lentil. Yeah, so 15 grams, that's
15,
a lot of
15,
fiber.
right?
Yeah. And this binds cholesterol and flushes it out. So study in Archives of Internal Medicine showed lentils reduce LDL, or bad cholesterol, by 11% in 3 months.
No, come on, man, 11% in 3 months. Another one for you. Just eating lentils, dried lentils, or beans and chickpeas, you are reducing your cholesterol levels by 11%. Come on,
That's
man.
a lot.
That is a lot. Just in 3 months. Remember, if you continue in 1 year, you're going to probably go further down than 11%.
Yeah.
So that is something you cannot beat. And again, these are cheap foods. We pass them by the grocery shops, grocery aisles all the time, because we want a processed food in a can that everybody is buying for Christmas or buying for that kind of thing, because it's a hot thing, everybody eats it. Come on, man. The cheaper alternatives are surrounding you all about, and you do not see them, right? So how do you actually eat them daily? That's the key, because some people think that how am I going to be able to eat my beans, my lentils, it's easy. You just cook them into soups. Some of you who like the beans like I do, come on, man. Put them into some kind of a spice lentil tacos, and stews, or any way you actually like them. The bonus point is that I love that. I wanted to actually make this, but we didn't have time. Think about a salad that is made from a sardine, which we talked about, plus berries, plus lentils. We call it what? Mixed sardine or lentil salad. Come on, man. Yeah, you got your proteins. You got a huge source of protein from the sardines and the lentils, and your berries, your fiber, everything is in there.
Right.
So you mix it up. You mix up your sardines, you throw your berries, you cook, your lentils, and then you add a little bit of olive oil and vinegar, and there you go. You got a healthy salad. This will fill you. You won't feel hungry anytime soon, and not just that, you're gonna drop a lot, because one of them will drop your cholesterol levels by 20%. One will drop it by 11%, and God knows what the other one will do. Putting them all together, you aren't going to need any much more of cholesterol medications if you do it over a long period.
But over at least 3 months?
At least 3 months, yes.
So you can try that, and maybe after 3 months, you can go back and check your cholesterol level and see how much it has gone down. And, we are not recommending that you stop your medication. You still have to take your medications. And it can get to the point that the doctor will ask, what are you doing differently? And you will tell your doctor, okay, I've changed my diet. And that can be a huge point or reason why the doctor will reduce the dose or even ask you to stop completely. Definitely. So why is it that we don't hear a lot about these simple, cheap, healthy foods?
Yes.
Why is it that we hearing more of Ozempic, we're hearing more of, all the atorvastatin, all the huge names out there, and the expensive, medications out there. But these simple things, this simple, cheap food, we are not hearing. Why is it?
Yes. And the big thing is Big Pharma's dirty secret. Come on, man. Big Pharma's dirty secret. why these foods are never advertised. Why they are never advertised? Of course, they will not. Because if they are known, your cholesterol won't go up. How are they going to make money? How are they going to make money? If they are advertised, you're not going to have heart disease. How are you going to get treated? With all these,
Expensive
expensive
surgeries.
medications and surgeries and procedures. They will not. So Big Pharma is behind it. I mean, we can't blame them as much. We ourselves stopped eating, and they are trying to fix the problems that we got by continuously moving away from the natural foods that God made us. I mean, eat in the beginning in the garden. We definitely think that we are more advanced, more complicated human beings now, so we can eat those things.
Basic things anymore. We have to eat the complicated
Yeah, I'm pretty
stuff.
sure somebody's watching and they're like, "You guys, serious? Who's going to be eating lentils? Who's going to be eating chickpeas? Who's going to be eating sardines, the stinky sardines?" That's what some people may say, but that's what gets your cholesterol down. I'm excited. That's what's going to get your health up. And until you come down to that point, you're going to be paying huge sums of money to Big Pharma because they're going to give you the fixes. They're going to make the medications that will fix you after you've had those challenges. But yeah, they are not advertised for that reason. And there's more. What is it?
Yeah, so a 3 can of sardine can compete with $300 per month statin. There is no way that the two can be compared here, So they want to make a lot of money off you by selling you the statins, the complicated medications, the Ozempic. People are spending over $3,000 a month just to get this to reduce weight.
To lose weight.
But we are not advertising the good things that will take care of all that extra weight, so that you don't find yourself in that situation that you need medication to reduce in size. So you can't compare the two. And they want to make profits, but if you allow yourself, they are going to make profits off you.
Off of you, come on, man. If you allow by eating junk, what people think is the order of the day, that stuff that everybody thinks is what is up today. And you get your cholesterol up, your plaques are built up, your sugars up, your diabetes, up the charts, your sugars up the roof, and everything is not going on right. Your blood pressure up the roof. Then they got to make money off of you, So yeah.
Yeah. So there's a proof. So Pfizer Lipitor made $125 billion in sales, and they make this profit. The whole of what? Is it last year?
$125 billion in sales for one cholesterol medication. Whole Foods cannot be patented. If I go right now and go to the patent office and say that I found that lentils and sardines and chickpeas and all those things we are discussing can reduce your cholesterol level by 11% or 20% in 8 weeks, I can put it in a patent. I can get people to be charged for that. And because I can't do that, I don't make money off of it. So, of course, nobody's going to yell and scream and tell you about it, except for those of us here who are giving it to you right now. Come on, man. Yes. That's why you got to support this channel by subscribing if you haven't already subscribed, or following if you are watching on TikTok or wherever you are watching us from. Make sure you hit us the thumbs up, like it, so that, we are not asking you to pay us. We're doing this for free. Come on, man. All you got is to hit the like and thumbs up button, right? So that we share this information for free. Big Pharma wouldn't want you to hear it. Because if everybody was eating these things and all our cholesterol levels are down, granted, some people have, familiar hypercholesterolemia where you make excess cholesterol no matter what. Those people are still going to be there. But for the most of us, changing your diet will change your cholesterol levels and bring them normal. And Big Pharma is going to lose. So they're not going to tell you about it. Nobody's going to tell you about it. If we are making $125 billion in sales, why would I care about telling you to eat blueberries or telling you to eat, apples, telling you to eat, sardines or oatmeal? How am I going to get my $125 billion? I ain't going to do that.
Yeah, so we will go for what? Solution. We are going to solve the problem when you get it, instead of preventing you from getting the problem. So we are not advertising the preventative measures, We are advertising when you get there how you're going to be treated. And that has been turned upside down. So we are here encouraging you to pick the right way, prevent yourself from getting to that point so that you don't end up spending a whole lot of money trying to treat the condition.
Definitely don't do that. And it takes simple lifestyle. Advertising these foods undermines the pill for every problem myth that is in our society today. If you're going to advertise it, have you watched any major news network and a company just out of the blue advertising that you should eat chickpeas or apples or steel cut oatmeals because your cholesterol is going to be fine, or don't eat sugar? Nobody's going to spend money on that. We rather advertise pill for every problem. So we show you this disease, this is a drug for it. And that myth is actually the one that is being perpetuated in our community, our society today, which is not good. It's very bad. It's a dirty secret by Big Pharma, and they thrive on chronic disease management, not cures. Not cures. They are not concerned about cures. In fact, even if they were, they couldn't. Some of the diseases, your lifestyle has to be the cure. And if your lifestyle hasn't changed, you're gonna have to take medications forever. And sometimes we do it for so long that even when we change your lifestyle, we have to use the rest of the lifestyle to correct what we have done for all those years. And so some of these have no cures. So that is the doing, not just for Big Pharma, but we're going to talk about.
Also, we have the big food industry, right? That has processed healthy scam foods out there. So the dirty secret here is whole grain cereal companies fund heart health ads, advertisement, right, to distract from real solutions. They fund these studies, so that we take our mind off the real problem.
And sometimes they even cover up some studies. I mean, I was watching some channel where some doctors talk about some of the information, the data that have been suppressed by big food. When I say big food, the big food industry.
Right.
They suppress data from coming out because they know when we find out, we're not going to be buying their foods.
Right.
For example, think about Kellogg's. Kellogg's as a cereal company. They spend about $1.2 billion marketing half-healthy cereals. But then that spike blood sugar levels because they juice it up with so much sugar and the processing is so much. And yet they got one key item about cereals being good, which we all know, but you don't get cereals being good for your heart when you are eating it with all these sodium and all these sugars. You're already canceling out the health benefit in a box of cereal, box of Cheerios, or whatever it is you are advertising about. And yet, because they just funded a study that said cereals are good, they take advantage and use that. And then we pounce on the cereals in the house when we go shopping. We give them to our kids, and we try to make everybody feel like you got to eat cereal because it's good.
Every morning.
Because it's good, right?
Yeah. And like on the box, if you look at the box, they have this
the American Heart Association thing.
The dry strawberries,
to make you feel
on
like
the box.
You're getting dead.
But when you pour in the bowl, you don't see any strawberry.
You can barely count
in there.
Any.
So that's all deception, out there that will make you think that you are eating healthy, but you are really clogging your arteries.
Definitely. So right now, this brings us to the bonus point that we said we're going to talk about. The number one healthy food that actually clogs your arteries. 90% of people eat this daily and not know it. Come on, man. It sounds like you're saying something positive, but you got to pause a little bit and let that sink. Number one healthy foods that clog your artery. So it's healthy, but it's clogging your artery. That is a mouthful. It is, deceptive things that are happening. We want to break the ice on some of them so you will know. When we did the research, we were actually going to pick on specific foods. But then we figured that if we say one specific food and you don't eat that, you'll be like, oh, I'm good. I don't eat that. So we're going to actually tell you what those foods are so that you can see yourself. You can check in your area, wherever you're watching us from, whether or not that food, it's one of the number one called healthy and yet killing your foods. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's a better way than to just give one food. We're going to give some examples, but at least let's generalize.
Yes, so
the
if there is a
discussion.
food out there that is supposed to be healthy, but that food is processed, then we can say that that is on the list of unhealthy foods that clog your arteries. Processed
Foods, come on, man. Processed. We can't say it any more than that. And when we say processing, people think it's a big word. Processing is somebody in a factory
Touching
did something to it. Yeah, touched it. They picked it up or they bought it from the farmers and then they sent it to somebody who added, cut, clean, packaged, salted, did something to it, and then put it on the shelf for you to buy.
Yes.
It's processed.
So often such foods are high, unhealthy fats. Just to preserve the taste. They add unhealthy fats. Such foods have high sugar content. It has sodium and it lacks all the fiber and the nutrients in the food.
That's all the processing do. They take out every fiber, and then all the nutrients are also lost in the process of removing the fiber. So that should be a sign to you. If anybody says that this food is good healthy for your health, if it passed through a machine, it's gone. It may be called blueberry, but as long as you send it through the machine, it's called a bad berry. Come on, man. It is going to be called a bad. If it passes through a chain of processing, it loses its health benefits, no matter the name. Even these fish that we're talking about, even the sardines, if you're buying the sardines in canned, there's some amount of processing. You got to read on the label to see how much salt they added to it, how much of additional oil they put to it, how much preservative they put to it. If they have all those in high amounts, forget that we told you sardines are good.
Yeah.
Because they would have made it unhealthy just by touching it that way. So processing destroys the food. And then they also contain trans fats as well as saturated fats. And then they add sugars to them. Trans fats, saturated fats, and sugars, they are like the key for every processing. Anything that is processed will have, if not all of them, at least one or two of them will be there. It's either sugar added, or there's trans fat, or there's saturated fat. There's got to be something in there. And these are found in red meat, the trans fat in particular, the saturated fats in particular, you find in red meat and also in butter, as well as cheese and some plant oils too. Those of us who like palm oil and stuff, they also contain some saturated fats too. And coconut oil may also have those unsafe amounts that we can talk about. So you definitely have to read the label and ensure that those have not been touched or added to your food.
Okay, and also watch out for refined grains.
Refined grains, come on, man. Grains, but the refined ones, right?
The polished and the refined grain is something you have to watch out. That is also clogging your arteries. So we have the wheat bread, we have the cakes, we have the pastries, margarine, butter, and cereals. All these have like refined. The grain is so much refined that it loses its nutrients and is pounded with a lot of trans fats and sugar and other things that is not healthy for you.
And they are going to clog your arteries fast.
Very much
Very fast, yeah. Even though they may be called healthy from the way they brought them, they are going to clog your arteries fast. They are the opposite of what we discussed earlier. So definitely watch out for those refined carbohydrates, refined grains. Your white rice, very polished, perfumed rice. When I was a kid, when you had perfumed rice, the Anwamo which was perfumed. Come on, man. It tasted good even without sauce on it because they have enriched it with some perfume. And then also all the flour that we use these days for the cakes and the pastries that we talk about. And they have also added butter or margarine, which is all processed oils. They are all going to increase not just your cholesterol level, but they're going to increase your chances of getting heart attack and heart disease, especially if you have a family history or if you have diabetes. You definitely want to stay out of them. So excessive intake is linked to higher levels of bad cholesterol. And this is the precursor, as we said, for atherosclerosis or plaque building up in your arteries. we can't emphasize that any much more.
Yeah. So of course we can't blame everything on Big Pharma
Oh, come on, man.
or Big Food. We can blame all our problems on them, right?
Yeah.
So your lifestyle also counts. Your lifestyle, the way that you go about things. If you are a smoker, it's something that you have to think about. If you drink alcohol, if there is no exercise, lack of exercise, these are the things that you have to also consider so that you don't get yourself in that situation. Apart from eating, having bad diet, if you're drinking or smoking or you don't exercise, that is something that you have to watch out for.
This one is not from Big Pharma, right?
This is what Big Pharma is doing.
This is not the doing of Big Pharma. This is your own doing. Smoking, alcohol, lack of exercise, and even not controlling your blood pressure. And also blood sugar if you have diabetes and you're not checking your blood sugars or your blood pressures. And also, of course, as I alluded to, if you have a family history or genetics that predisposes you to higher cholesterols that you got to take care of. If you don't take care of those you cannot blame Big Pharma or Big Food. You
Big Pharma, Big Food.
Yeah, they are not in trouble for that. We got another comment on YouTube. Let's put it on there by Aiden. Aiden says, "Thank you, doctor. I love sardines. Also lentils, my favorite." Oh, come on, man. You are in luck. Man, that is good for you. Good for you. Some people can't stand them. So if you love them, you are halfway. You just got to get them and keep eating them. All right. And I think there's another one. He shared the heart love. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that. All right. So let's keep going. Now, and that's why you need a holistic approach. You cannot just blame Big Pharma for everything. Neither can you blame yourself also for everything. It's 50-50. So you do your part, and then Big Pharma, you blame them for their part. You got to blame somebody for a little bit, right? But at least you got to do your part. And the way you can do it is to go with it on a holistic approach. Watch your diet. Simple things like asking, what oil did you use to make the food, honey? What kind of oil do you use to fry this? How much salt is this? Oh, I can't eat that much salt. This processing food, the whole week we've been buying out. The whole week we are not cooking. I know we are busy, but how much of these processed foods are we going to be eating every day or every week? How is your glucose level? Are you checking them? Do you even know you have diabetes? You are watching this, you haven't seen a doctor, you've never checked. You're probably over 30 years old, you don't see the doctor, or you've seen the doctor for some time, but they never checked you to see if your blood sugars are creeping up or not. You got to do that. Those are the things that you do to make it a holistic approach. And of course, you also stop alcohol and you stop your smoking. And then you start exercising. Now, if you get checked and you do all those things, then I can promise you that before anything bad is found out, you would have already seen it and you'll be taking matters in your hand to either change your diet drastically or at least have a different lifestyle, including exercise, which will help you over the long haul.
Yeah, so these $3 foods could save your heart, but Big Pharma hopes you will never try them. So prove them wrong today.
Come on and prove them wrong today. Prove Big Pharma and Big Food. Prove them wrong. Excuse me. Prove Big Pharma and Big Food wrong, that you are up to the task. Right? And as you do that, hit the subscribe button, because next week we are going to be doing a lot more. We don't want you to just watch this and stop. You got to subscribe, hit the love or thumbs up wherever you're watching us from, so that when we go, honey, you know what? I was checking our analytics last night, and I see that about 70% of the people who watch our shows are not subscribed. So if you count 100, 70 people just watched, they didn't subscribe. Only 30 people would have subscribed. So if you are watching this, we need you to subscribe. Subscribe, and not just that. Also, make sure that you hit the thumbs up, the bell button, and all the good stuff, so that whenever we go live, you will see. And even if you don't, at least you know that our videos will be coming to you at some point. So join us and let's do that. Because if not, you are not going to be reminded by Big Pharma or Big Food. They are out there to get you.
Yeah.
We are out there to help
And
you.
nobody's advertising the healthy foods.
Nobody will.
Nobody would. They will advertise the expensive medications and the things that you got to do. And the food, the big food too, you'll be watching commercial and, the fast food, the way the juicy food with the double whopper warmer and all that, with the dripping cheese on the side. You keep seeing those. So you have to take matters into your own hands and go for the healthy ones. And we are here for you.
Definitely, we are here for you. Come on, man. And if you enjoy that show, tell you what, we have access to, we are on almost every platform. So go to attain.link. Those of you watching on YouTube, you can see the QR code, you can scan it. If not, those watching from other places, just go to oteng.link, attain.link, and you will see all the links to everywhere, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, our TikTok. Just go to OTEN.LINK and follow us on all those other platforms. In fact, you can also go to our website from there. We also have a shop where we sell merchandise that reminds you. One of them that I love so much, it's Recovering Sugar Addict. Go buy some for yourself. And the next time somebody tricks you with a sugary drink, you look at that and say, "No, I'm not drinking that anymore." So yes, go to attain.link, and you can see us on all those platforms, including on our shop. Buy something, support us, follow us, and let's get our community healthy together. So until we see you again next time, right?
Yep. We say,
beloved,
we wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and God bless.